1. When teaching adult learners about macroeconomic forecasting, which instructional strategy maximizes practical retention? A. Memorizing long lists of economic terms. B. Interactive forecasting exercises using real economic data. C. Lecture-only presentations. D. Reading a textbook chapter independently. 2. Which evaluation method most accurately measures a learner's competency in interpreting elasticity in economic modeling? A. True or false quizzes. B. Case-based analysis requiring calculation and interpretation. C. Asking them to define elasticity. D. Reviewing attendance. 3. When mentoring junior analysts on market structure assessment, which approach best builds independent analytical reasoning? A. Giving them the final answers. B. Using Socratic questioning to guide conclusions. C. Restricting access to market data. D. Letting them work without feedback. 4. In curriculum development for a CBE preparation course, what ensures alignment with professional standards? A. Excluding regulatory topics. B. Mapping learning outcomes to the NABE CBE competency framework. C. Creating content based only on instructor preference. D. Avoiding quantitative modules. 5. When presenting inflation analysis to executives, which communication strategy is most effective? A. Using dense academic language. B. Visual summaries linking inflation drivers to business impact. C. Providing raw spreadsheets without explanation. D. Giving a long technical lecture. 6. Regulatory compliance in economic data reporting requires which practice? A. Sharing proprietary data publicly. B. Following confidentiality rules and documenting data sources. C. Avoiding source citations. D. Storing data only on personal devices. 7. To evaluate forecasting skill development, which assessment is most valid? A. Asking learners to memorize forecasting models. B. Assigning a project requiring creation and defense of a forecast. C. A multiple choice exam only. D. A short oral presentation with no calculations. 8. Which adult learning technique best supports understanding of opportunity cost? A. Memorizing its definition. B. Scenario-based decision simulations. C. Watching a brief video. D. Reading multiple definitions from textbooks. 9. For communication clarity in an economic impact report, which approach is best? A. Using technical language exclusively. B. Explaining assumptions, methodology, and implications clearly. C. Only providing charts with no narrative. D. Leaving out sensitivity analysis. 10. When mentoring analysts on regression techniques, which strategy enhances confidence and mastery? A. Criticizing mistakes harshly. B. Offering hands-on practice with feedback at each iteration. C. Avoiding complex datasets. D. Providing only theoretical formulas. 11. Which evaluation method best assesses skill in identifying externalities? A vocabulary quiz. B. Analyzing policy scenarios with positive and negative spillovers. C. Asking learners to memorize examples. D. Rewriting definitions. 12. What instructional method is most effective for teaching cost-benefit analysis? A. Solely reading policy documents. B. Live workshops requiring learners to calculate NPVs and justify decisions. C. Memorizing discount rate tables. D. Avoiding mathematical problems. 13. To ensure compliance in economic research ethics, analysts must A. Ignore conflicts of interest. B. Disclose methodologies transparently and avoid data manipulation. C. Omit methodology sections. D. Use untraceable data sources. 14. When designing assessments for a CBE exam prep course, fairness is strengthened by A. Using trick questions. B. Ensuring assessments align with learning objectives and competencies. C. Rewriting objectives after assessments. D. Avoiding real-world applications. 15. Which communication method is most effective when explaining risk-adjusted returns to senior managers? A. Flooding them with formulas. B. Providing a concise explanation with visuals showing comparative outcomes. C. Giving them detailed academic articles. D. Using jargon-heavy summaries. 16. What mentoring strategy best improves a learner's ability to interpret economic indicators? A. Teaching only the definitions of indicators. B. Reviewing real indicator trends and guiding reasoning. C. Avoiding trend analysis. D. Restricting access to current data releases. 17. Which evaluation tool best distinguishes between cyclical and structural unemployment understanding? A. Flashcard definitions. B. Case analysis, exploring underlying causes in real scenarios. C. A simple matching exercise. D. Reading definitions silently. 18. In teaching adults about econometrics, which method strengthens applied competence? A. Working only with perfect datasets. Using real-world messy datasets and requiring interpretation. C. Assigning only reading material. D. Avoiding statistical coding exercises. 19. In economic reporting compliance, essential documentation includes uncited claims. B. Clear sources, assumptions, and model explanations. C. Anonymous datasets with no traceability. D. Draft versions without methodology. 20. When communicating forecast uncertainty, effectiveness improves with A. Omitting confidence intervals. B. Presenting ranges, assumptions, and sensitivity outcomes. C. Giving point estimates only. D. Using technical statistical language exclusively. 21. Which mentoring behavior builds long-term analytical independence? A. Giving direct answers to all questions. B. Encouraging hypothesis formation before reviewing results. C. Completing their analysis for them. D. Avoiding difficult data sets. 22. In building a CBE learning curriculum, engagement improves when A. Including real economic case studies. B. Repeating slides with no variation. C. Avoiding group discussion. D. Removing interactive components. 23. Which evaluation method accurately assesses ability to conduct monetary policy analysis? A. Memorizing central bank terms. B. Evaluating learner-created policy responses to hypothetical shocks. C. Taking a basic vocabulary quiz. D. Watching a video summary. 24. What communication approach ensures clarity in a fiscal policy briefing? A. Presenting without context or assumptions. B. Using structured summaries linking actions to outcomes. C. Giving only raw data tables. D. Overloading the audience with technical notes. 25. When mentoring on time series decomposition, which approach supports skill development? A. Demonstrating once and ending the lesson. B. Allowing repeated practice with feedback on trend, cycle identification. C. Avoiding hands-on analysis. D. Using only theoretical diagrams. 26. Which evaluation tool best measures mastery of market equilibrium analysis? A. Asking them to restate the definition. B. Interpreting shifts using real supply-demand data sets. C. Labeling diagrams without context. D. Memorizing curve names. 27. To ensure compliance in publishing economic forecasts, analysts must A. Skip peer review. B. Follow disclosure policies on data limitations and assumptions. C. Hide errors detected in the model. D. Remove methodological notes. 28. The most effective adult learning technique for teaching marginal analysis is A. Reading definitions. B. Applying marginal concepts to decision simulations. C. Memorizing formula sheets. D. Avoiding practical computation. 29. To reduce misinterpretations during cross-team communication, economic presentations should A. Include excessive technical detail. B. Use plain language summaries with clear visuals. C. Provide raw datasets only. D. Avoid outlining assumptions. 30. Which mentoring method best enhances a learner's ability to evaluate competitive dynamics? A. Giving only high-level explanations. B. Reviewing diverse market cases with guided reasoning. C. Avoiding comparisons among industries. D. Providing answers without walkthroughs. 31. In a CBE course, which instructional element supports progressive skill building? Increasing complexity across applied economic tasks. B. Presenting all complex topics on day one. C. Teaching only theory with no application. D. Avoiding real-world data. 32. Which evaluation technique best assesses proficiency in interpreting GDP components? A. Asking them to list all components. B. Applying GDP breakdowns to scenario-based analysis. C. Matching terms to definitions. D. Memorizing expenditure categories. 33. Which communication strategy is most effective during economic onboarding for new analysts? A. Providing hundreds of charts without explanation. B. A structured orientation covering workflow, tools, and expectations. C. Avoiding documentation. D. Requiring independent discovery of procedures. 34. When mentoring junior analysts in constructing macroeconomic forecasts, which approach most effectively reinforces adult learning principles while ensuring analytical rigor? A. Requiring the mentee to replicate a full forecast independently without prior guidance. B. Walking through each step while limiting mentee participation to note-taking for efficiency. C. Engaging the mentee in a structured, scenario-based forecasting exercise with guided reflection. D. Assigning only theoretical readings before allowing any hands-on forecasting work.